All right, tonight on 360, two big pieces of breaking news on the first big setback for President-elect Trump and just how it came to be. Matt Gaetz is picked for Attorney General, saying no thanks to the job before senators have a chance to say no thanks to him. And the president-elect's choice just a short time ago of Trump loyalist former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to take the place of Gaetz. Also tonight, what now becomes of Fox host Pete Hegseth, Trump's choice to run the Pentagon, as a police report complete with lurid details of the sexual assault allegation against him come to light. Plus, a report from southern Arizona where expectations for the new administration's border policies are running high, but so is the apprehension. All right, good evening. John Berman here in for Anderson. Donald Trump just lost his first battle as president-elect and immediately joined a new one. That first battle to push through a pick for Attorney General who has been accused of sexual misconduct, including sex with a minor. Trump could not get that man or that baggage through, though it is notable he tried. So now, just a short time ago, the president-elect chose former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to be his second Attorney General designate. She also worked for years as a prosecutor, served as one of then President Trump's attorneys for his first impeachment trial, and was a 2020 election denier. She also defended Trump after his subsequent felony indictments, including the Florida documents case.
We all talk about all the time weaponization of our courts, weaponization of our law enforcement. And, today truly, or if he really is indicted, I believe he will be in Florida, it truly is weaponization. Right. The ultimate sense, guys, the ultimate sense, because there are so many violent crimes out there that they should be investigating. And my guess is those real FBI agents out there don't want to be doing this. They want to be investigating the real crime.
So Pam Bondi steps in tonight after the nomination of fellow Floridian Matt Gaetz imploded in nearly record time. It took 8 days, about 8/10 of a Scaramucci, as in Anthony Scaramucci, who does join us shortly, for Gaetz to fall to earth. Gaetz withdrew his nomination today, and tonight we also know a lot more about how it played out and why. Gaetz took himself out of the running with a social media post, quote, "There is no time to waste," it reads in part, "on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General." The post went up at 12:24 p.m., about 45 minutes after CNN reached out about our new reporting that the House Ethics Committee was told of a second alleged sexual encounter between Gaetz and the 17-year-old at the center of the accusations. 17 years old. Tonight, we also know it came after a phone call from the president-elect who told him he did not have the Senate votes to continue, something one Republican finally managed to say out loud after the fact today.
I know enough people that were a hell no in the conference to know that the path would have been very, very difficult.
All right, that's North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer, who sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee and also expressed concerns about Defense Secretary-designate Pete Hegseth, who was accused in 2017 of sexually assaulting a woman at a conservative conference in Monterey, California. Late last night, CNN obtained the police report in which the accuser told police Hegseth was acting inappropriately toward other women during the conference. According to the report, she later told a hospital nurse that she, quote, was not sure but believes that something may have been slipped into her drink as she cannot remember most of the night's events. The report says the nurse then passed that on to police. Hegseth denies the allegations, even as he and the woman reached a settlement which included both a payment to her and a confidentiality agreement. Today on Capitol Hill, meeting with senators, he made the following claim, which is not quite accurate.
As far as the media is concerned, it's very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
So in point of fact, though, he was not charged. He was also not cleared either. All right, more now on all the breaking news from CNN's Caitlin Collins, who anchors The Source tonight at the top of the next hour. Also CNN's Paula Reed, whose blockbuster reporting immediately preceded the Matt Gaetz announcement this afternoon. Caitlin, first, tell us more about President-elect Trump's pick now for Attorney General Pam Bondi. How did he come to this decision?
John, it just came hours after Trump had realized that he was going to have to make a new decision on that after Matt Gaetz had withdrawn his name as Attorney General for his pick. That came after a conversation that the two of them had this morning regarding the fact that a lot of these Republican senators who had been skeptical of this nomination from the beginning were just not going to move. And that was clear even from the conversations that they were having on Capitol Hill. They could only afford to lose a handful of Republican senators for this vote. And so it's really just doing the math here that happened. And immediately, John, that jump-started this process of who is going to replace him as the pick for Attorney General, because this is one of the most important roles to President-elect Donald Trump. He's been down here in Mar-a-Lago working on Treasury and an FBI potential director, what that was going to look like. And then today, this was thrown back in the mix. Something that was certainly on their radar as they were, were watching what was happening on Capitol Hill. They were listening to the reaction of those Republican senators. And so today at Mar-a-Lago, Trump did sit down one-on-one, I'm told, with Pam Bondi. They had a conversation. Obviously, he knows her well. She represented him on his first impeachment defense team. She spoke there in the well of the Senate. We heard from her. And so she's no stranger to him. She's certainly a MAGA loyalist. I was talking to one Republican tonight who was saying that she is more confirmable in their view than Matt Gaetz was, simply because she is MAGA aligned. She has experience as the Attorney General of Florida. She's a loyalist to Donald Trump. She's also, I should note, aligned with Susie Wiles, his very powerful incoming chief of staff. So she kind of checked all of those boxes that Trump wanted there. Of course, the question is, how do Republican senators view Pam Bondi? It could be grading on a curve, John, now what they've gone through for the last several days.
Yeah, we'll talk much more about that coming up. Caitlin, just very quickly, Gaetz' decision to withdraw, what specifically did you learn about that?
That essentially was the math. I mean, there were meetings behind closed doors that with the Vice President-elect J.D. Vance that we were told went very well, they thought, but there were just several names that did not seem like they could move. I mean, Senator Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, these were people who even publicly were saying that they were very skeptical of the fact that they could even get there. They were just trying to hope to get to a hearing. So I think the writing was really just on the wall, and they were doing the math, John.
Well, someone who may have put some of that writing on the wall, Paula Reed, you had this reporting which broke right all at the same time. Walk us through the TikTok of your outreach to the Gaetz team.
Yeah, lest anyone in Trump world think that the Bondi announcement would distract from this. Earlier today, our colleague Sarah Ferris and I reported that the woman who was just 17 years old when she says she had sex with Gaetz told the House Ethics Committee that she had a second previously unreported sexual encounter with Gaetz that also involved another adult woman. So we were talking about allegations about a threesome with a minor. Now, our sources tell us that this woman told the Ethics Committee that this occurred at a party in 2017 in Florida, the same party where she had the previously reported one-on-one sexual encounter with Gaetz on an air hockey table. Now, Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing. The Justice Department investigated these allegations and did not charge him. The adult woman who is referenced by this witness has also denied having sex with a minor. But we reached out to Gaetz's camp about our new reporting, and while we were waiting for a statement about a minute before we were supposed to break this on air, he announced that he was withdrawing his nomination for Attorney General.
So, do you have a sense of what it was about this second encounter that was deemed significant by Gaetz or by the Ethics Committee, for that matter?
Look, I think the significance here is that this suggests that this ethics report has a lot of information that is not public. John, I have covered these allegations into the former congressman for 4 years. And this is the first time I ever heard that there was not just one, but multiple alleged sexual encounters with a minor. And just the other day, one of the lawmakers sort of shooed away one of our colleagues pressing about the ethics report in its release, saying, look, you know what's in it. You've reported it all. That is clearly not true. And I think why this reporting is especially significant is because it shows exactly the type of information that the committee has that is not yet public.
That's such a great point. It's the new news during all this process that can be so damaging. And along those lines, Caitlin, CNN obtained this police report which revealed new details from the sexual assault allegation against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. So is the president-elect sticking by Hegseth tonight?
We haven't heard any indication otherwise yet.